Hey guys, I have finished a lot of series in my time, whether it's book series or TV or movies, and each time I watch that final episode or I flip that final page, I feel like I experience the same rainbow of emotions, and I think you guys probably can also relate to a lot of this. So today what I'm going to talk about are my 5 stages of finishing a series. The first stage is self-satisfaction. You have accomplished such a huge achievement in finishing the series. Whether it's a trilogy or it's 10 seasons of hour-long episodes, you've accomplished something very big. You have set your mind to a goal and you have achieved it. So this is the stage when you kind of pat yourself on the back, you feel good about yourself. You think back to that first episode or the first book and you were so young. You had no idea what was coming. There might have been that one spot when the writing was kind of weak and you kind of thought about stopping and it wasn't really worth your time, but you held strong and you made it. Whether the ending was wonderful or terrible, you made it. This might be the most satisfying of the 5 stages, but it's also probably the shortest. Because then comes along the second stage, when you gotta boast about your accomplishment. Isn't this why social media exists, basically? You gotta get on Facebook, you gotta get on Twitter, you gotta post something on Instagram, anything, a weird selfie, but you gotta say that you finished that series. We've established in stage 1 that this is a huge accomplishment, but now you gotta tell all your friends and those random people on the internet that follow you. For some reason, they have to know. You go grab coffee with your friend and you gotta name drop that series somewhere. I mean, no spoilers, of course, you're not a monster, but they need to know that there's something that you know that they don't know yet. Depending on how many friends you have who have also finished the series, this stage can last kind of a long time. You can talk about your favorite parts and your least favorite parts, your favorite characters, your least favorite characters, all that stuff. It can last for quite a while, but regardless of how many people you can talk to about it, this stage does have to end. And then we get into stage 3, which is withdrawals. The gravity of the situation is beginning to hit you at this stage, and you're realizing you really need this series in your life. You come home from school or from work and you sit down and you realize this was your sacred series time. What are you gonna do with this sacred series time? And those characters that you love so much and you spent so much time with and you invested so much of yourself in, more stuff could have been happening to them, but you'll never know. At this stage, you might be realizing just how intertwined your life was with that series, which may or may not be a little bit concerning, but regardless, even if you felt like the series was getting progressively worse and the ending was terrible in your opinion, you still would do anything to get just one more little episode in that story. And then the 4th stage rolls around. Sadness. It's at this stage that you realize your life may never be the same again. There is a gaping hole in your heart now where that series has been and now there's no more and you're really realizing that. And you know, it doesn't matter how many series you finished in the past because right in this moment, the entire time this stage lasts, it feels like there could never ever possibly be another series that could match this one. How could anything possibly be as amazing and fulfilling as the series that you've just devoted so much of your life to? This is a pretty bad stage, not gonna lie. Netflix could be recommending you a plethora of other series that you might like, and your friends could be constantly encouraging you to start a series that they're currently into, but you can't really be reasoned with during this stage. You're just sad without that series. And then finally, after you've gone through this roller coaster of emotions, you reach the 5th and final stage, which is replacement. At this point, you finally accepted it. That series is over. It's gone. Until the reboot in a few years. And now with this new mind of acceptance, you can go out there and you can find yourself a new series. And once you start this new series, you realize you might have been a little silly about being so attached to the old one because this new one's pretty good. And then you start watching it or reading it and getting really into it and becoming obsessed with it. And then before you know it, you've finished another series. Now you can repeat all this. And that pretty much wraps it up. There are my 5 stages of finishing a series. I've gone through these so many times and I can tell you there's always hope. There's always something awesome. Of course, there's always those series like Harry Potter, for example, or Lord of the Rings, and you just know you're never going to be able to repeat it, but you do find new meaning, I promise you. There is a light at the end of the tunnel. There are other things to spend your time on. So what are you guys currently watching or reading that you're super obsessed with? I'm going to try to read your comments and not start every single one of them for my own sanity, but I would love to know. And just as a little side note at the end of this video, it might be about time to say sayonara to this backdrop because this is probably the last video I'm going to record here. Hopefully my new setup will meet your expectations properly, but give me a little time because I still have to figure out how I'm going to pack everything. It's kind of a work in progress right now. Thank you guys all so much for watching and I will see you soon.